Okay, let's get going. Now it's all about reading. What I'm reading as well. This is, I show you here, the Ugandan Tales. You see, I've been reading poem after poem, depending on what really is going on. And there's a lot of poems in here, guys. It's not like a regular read. You kind of investigate each poem as you go along. It's very intriguing and interesting. So I have two poems. I want to share with you, and then tickle your fancy as well. The first poem is called The Great Escape, right? The Great Escape. Similar to what I wrote about in one of my stories, The Greatest Holiday in Kampala. Okay, now those familiar with the book, it's about Uganda, pretty much a timeline of events, of things that pretty much take place. Okay, let me jump into the book so that, the last time I did a read, I spent a lot of time in the video talking about myself, and I don't want to talk about myself today. So, The Great Escape, that is page 148 in the book, The Ugandan Tales, poems written by Victor Rumanyika. All right, the first stanza is, anxious crowds converge in the busy main bus park. I think it's meaning bus Zabaganda downtown Kampala, eager to escape away from the pandemic hit city. Children dressed in their school uniforms despairingly look on as muscular adults force their way onto the expensive old buses. Why are they old and expensive? I don't know. Pandemonium reigns as the assembled crowds gather, more in hope than certainty. So maybe, are we going? Are we going anywhere? This is a bit of a chaotic situation, I'm guessing. Like people wanting to escape, to leave Kampala, to travel to the up country or whichever destination, but definitely out of Kampala. Okay, next stanza. As seismic migration from the city to the countryside, now in motion, in a vain attempt to beat the lockdown. Okay, so it's about the COVID lockdown that was pretty much taking place, announced by the overwhelmed regime to control the spread of the pandemic. People are moving up country to take care of their health or whatever, to avoid, I don't know, overcrowded vehicles form long convoys that sit tight in the frozen traffic, standstill traffic jam as dawn approaches, the onset of curfew looming. Next stanza. Astute and profiteering bus owners treble the fares, charging desperate passengers hiked fares to ferry them away from the chaotic city. Kampala can be a beehive, it's always been like that. I remember many years back, so imagine double that with people living in a hurry, in a haste to beat a curfew that is looming. Next paragraph. Astute and profiteering bus owners treble the fares, charging desperate passengers hiked fares to ferry them away from the city. That is in a repetition of the other one to emphasize the whole